Hi, this is Christian, and welcome back to NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news, coming your way, Week 1 predictions. It's finally back to regular season football, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the New England Patriots. Now, the last time we saw the Chiefs in meaningful action, it was in the playoffs and a tough loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers as they try to rebound and go deeper into the playoffs. And I think the Chiefs have all the tools to do it. Starting, though, on the ground will be Kareem Hunt, an interesting running back, and I think he can have a pretty good year as the Chiefs, well, Alex Smith, he'll need some support on the ground to go with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce through the air, and I think the Chiefs will be one of the top AFC teams this year. And who will be number one? Well, I think that will be the New England Patriots, their opponent in this game. The Patriots have been a dominant force for over a decade now, led by Tom Brady, a 5-time Super Bowl champion, and, well, the Patriots, they'll be without Julian Edelman in this game, but they still have Rob Gronkowski back, tight end Dwayne Allen, maybe a 2 tight end set there, and 3 great receivers. They acquired Philip Dorsett via trade earlier in the week from the Indianapolis Colts, but their main 3 receivers, Brandon Cooks, who they got from the New Orleans Saints, Chris Hogan, a breakout star from last year, and Danny Amendola, a stalwart who's been there for a couple of years. And Malcolm Mitchell, too. Maybe he might catch a pass or two. He had a pretty decent performance in Super Bowl 51, and maybe he can build on that. Overall, I think this should be a very, very entertaining game with 2 AFC heavyweights, but ultimately, I think the New England Patriots win on opening day. Dillons Prediction, the New England Patriots. 2 upstart teams clash in Nashville as the Oakland Raiders take on the Tennessee Titans. Now, for the Oakland Raiders, well, it looks like they're going to have another great season. Now, it ended poorly as Connor Cook, the third-string quarterback, had to take on the Houston Texans in his first ever NFL game, and, well, that did not end well for the Oakland Raiders. But Derek Carr, one of the MVP candidates in my opinion for this year, he's looking ready to go with Amari Cooper. Of course, they have Michael Crabtree, and of course, Marshawn Lynch on the ground, beast mode, Skittles man, is ready to go for the Raiders. And they'll need him if they want to make a deep postseason run this year. For the Titans, there's sky-high expectations for them. Rookie Corey Davis, he's been a little bit injured, but he still has high expectations to perform for Mariota this year. They have Eric Decker, and of course, Rashard Matthews as well. So through the air, Mariota should have no trouble. And don't forget about tight end Delaney Walker. He's been very underrated, but I think he's one of the most important targets for Tennessee this year. Overall, I think this should be a very, very tight game, one of the closest of this week 1, but overall, I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans to upset the Oakland Raiders at home. Dillon's prediction is the Oakland Raiders. 2 of the NFC's heavyweights clash as the Seattle Seahawks take on the Green Bay Packers. The Seahawks, well, their defense is back. They have Earl Thomas III, and he's been recovering from his nasty injury he suffered in a primetime game against Carolina last year. And the Seahawks, with Russell Wilson, of course Doug Baldwin, and running back Thomas Rawls and CJ Prosise, the Seahawks should have a pretty dominant offensive force this season. So, as we look at the Green Bay Packers, they have a dominant offense as well. Aaron Rodgers, a top quarterback in the NFL, as we all know, maybe the best of all time outside of Tom Brady and Joe Montana. And the Packers with Jordy Nelson, of course they have Devontae Adams, and Randall Cobb, who is set to have a bounce-back season after taking a seat to Adams last year. I think this will be a very fun game to watch at Lambeau, and the Packers probably have the advantage on this, but I don't know. I think the Seattle Seahawks know that their window is closing for a championship, and I think it starts now as the Seattle Seahawks handle the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. Dillon's prediction is the Green Bay Packers. In the final spotlight game of the week, it's the New York Football Giants as they take on the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. This game should be amazing. With 2 of the NFC East top teams, I think the Dallas Cowboys, even without Ezekiel Elliott, and maybe they could still have him if his suspension gets delayed, but Either way, they still have an amazing offensive line, and you know what that means. It means running on the ground with Darren McFadden. Darren McFadden, well, obviously he's not as talented as Ezekiel Elliott, but he can still get the job done. And I think that the Dallas Cowboys will run the football more than people expect, even without Ezekiel Elliott. They have Dez Bryant, Terrence Williams, and Jason Witten through the air, but I think the rushing attack will be very important against a Giants defense that really has performed, especially last year. They were one of the NFL's best. The Giants, I'm excited to see Evan Ingram in action. He's the rookie tight end out of Ole Miss, and I think that Evan Ingram will be a big factor if the Giants are to win this game. Overall, I think it should be very close, and the Giants certainly have had the Cowboys' number, but ultimately, I think the Cowboys break out of their slump against the New York Giants and take the W. Dillons Prediction, the New York Giants.
And when we wake, we be the only sound. Get on my knees and say your friend James Brown. That can make your hands clap. That can make your hands clap. That can make your hands clap. My flesh is searching for your worst and best, don't ever deny. I'm like a stranger, give me danger, all you're wrong and you're right. Secrets on Broadway to the freeway, you're a keeper of crimes. Feel no conviction, grips of wrath can only sweeten your wine. But you don't even know, I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Every night when the stars come out, am I the only living soul around? Need to believe you could hold me down, 'cause I'm in need of something good right now. We could be screaming till the sun comes out, and when we wake, we'd be the only sound. Get on my knees and say your friend James Brown. That I can make your hands clap. 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 So can I get a hand clap?
For the player of the week, it's quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, Jay Cutler. Now, after Tannehill went down, it seemed like Matt Moore would be the starter. But no, Adam Gase, the head coach, signed Jay Cutler, and they have ties together. And so far, Jay Cutler has been playing pretty solid in the preseason, and now on to the regular season. The Dolphins hope that Cutler is the savior to help them get back to the postseason and maybe deep into it. We'll find out and see if Cutler is the answer. For the Christian Screw Team of the Week, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I think for the Eagles to make the playoffs, they're going to need a lot going for them with a really tough schedule, but they have Carson Wentz, they have LeGarrette Blount, Darren Sproles, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles, despite a tough division and a tough conference to play in, I think they can sneak into the playoffs. Will they? We'll just have to find out and see. In Week 3 through Week 8 of the NFL season, NFL Updates Express will be Instagram only as part of the Murica Man media takeover on Instagram. So make sure to follow NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news, only on Instagram for Weeks 3 through 8.